Thanks, Rumi. It's time now for a quick take by the numbers, where we give you the numbers that tell the story. Today's number is 31 million. 31 million people in the UK tuned into yesterday's Euro 2020 final between England and Italy. For reference, only 28 million Brits watched Boris Johnson's COVID lockdown announcement last year. Football fans across the world were on the edge of their seats, myself included, as Italy won the Euro 2020 final, defeating England 3-2 in a penalty shootout. So here to speak more about this is Bloomberg's Joe Easton, live from what I hear is a very quiet London. Joe, how's it going over there?
Yeah, not great. It's quite a downbeat, almost sort of depressive atmosphere really around London and around social media and in the shops and in the offices as well. It's just a bit downbeat. We were expecting this to be, well, not expecting, but hoping it would be a day of celebration for the country, but it wasn't to be. And we think Italy deserved the win on the night. They were the better team. So we're not, we see it as a fair result, and we'll have to improve, come back again next time.
Definitely, but still historic for the team, Joe. I mean, the fact that they made it all the way forward, right? I mean, is there still some optimism in that sense? Of course, we have the World Cup next year.
Yeah. No, there's lots of optimism in terms of where the team has gone. The England team traditionally during my lifetime has always been something very disappointing. Every tournament that came round, we would usually lose quite early in the tournament on penalties or against an old rival like Germany. And then this tournament and the last tournament, we've done quite well. So in the World Cup in 2018, we reached the semi-final. And then with the same manager, we've now reached the final, first final in 55 years. So it's definitely progress, but there's still, as a football fan or a soccer fan, we still see the same for an England fan, we still see the same kind of problems in terms of tactics and kind of mindset and a few things that haven't quite changed enough as they should.
And speaking of things that haven't changed, I mean, racism is something that has been an issue within European football for a number of years, a number of decades at this point. What can you tell us about some of the investigations that police are looking into, specifically in regards to those black players who took the PKs at the end of the game? I'm hearing there's a lot of backlash to them and to what happened.
Yeah, so there was some very, disgusting comments made against Saka, who took the last penalty, and some of the other penalty takers, like you mentioned, 3 black players that missed, Marcus Rashford being one who's become quite a well-known figure during the pandemic, as he's done a lot of charity work, become quite known. So it's been disappointing to see some comments there, but I would say that it is a very small minority of people that hold those views in this country and say those kind of things. It was a very small number of people, and it certainly doesn't represent the average English soccer fan. And I mean, I was at out in the streets of London yesterday, and the kind of people that you might usually consider to be almost football hooligans, they all sing the names of the black players, and they have the black players' names on their shirts, and they support them like any other player. So I think that although it has been horrible to see those comments, it was definitely a minority of people.
And definitely a young team and young players that are experiencing that. Joe, just finally, I mean, there were so many predictions about England possibly winning this, possibly giving a boost to consumer spending in the country. Do you see this potentially having an effect on what it is that people do? I know you're inside now. Are people still going to be going out to the bars and spending just as much?
Yeah, so unfortunately for the bars and pub industry, the restrictions from the pandemic, they actually end in a week's time. So they're ending a week late, because it would have been a huge payday for the industry. They have still done quite well, but they haven't been able to get the numbers right up in the pubs and bars. So instead, we've seen a benefit in some of the stocks, like the home food delivery companies. We have Just Eat and Deliveroo. It's they're kind of like Uber Eats kind of models, and also the grocery shops. The general grocers do really well with people buying beer and crisps and snacks and stuff to have at home. And also the gambling companies, so sports gambling is very liberally regulated here. It's not, I know in America it's becoming a bigger thing now, but people have been gambling on football for a long time. And during the tournaments like this, you get the most new clients coming onto gambling websites and spending money. So the bookmakers will have done well. And the fact that England didn't win also meant that the bookmakers didn't have to pay out millions of pounds to patriotic people who would have put money on them to win it.
Yeah. Well, definitely a nail-biter ender there, Joe. We really appreciate you coming on with us. I know it's a difficult day for you. It was a good game, and as you said, Italy did win, so we have to remember that. All right, that is Bloomberg's Joe Easton. Thanks so much for your time. And